All originals. Over here you have one of three. This is our big, I guess it's sort of the star. It's been in the vault for close to 100 years. This is...
it's incredible nobody wanted to put it up before.
Well, they wanted to, and the people, they weren't able to do it, actually, because, you know, the curators here have a lot of power. And they can tell you no without saying no. And some of the... I can tell you two of the presidents I know wanted it up and it never got up, but I think they liked me better. And part of it is it's very delicate, the paper.
Right.
And they, you know, the paper with the light and everything else.
But you protect it with the curtains.
What we do is if you pull that curtain, you'll see what happens. We just go ahead and pull it if you'd like. Yeah. See, that covers it up.
Yeah.
So now it's protected from,
Yeah.
because the paper is very delicate.
Right.
And that was the problem with getting it up. So we did that. We devised that. But the curators, yeah, you can open it up again, I guess. But the curators made it difficult for a couple of people to get it up. I don't think they were going to let it come up. So they like me better. They know I take good care of things. But
primary directive of good cryptography. Well, what does this one on the right say? There's words in English, superior. Let's have a look what it actually says. It says the superior, and dicto is actually Latin, because a lot of the things they like to mix Latin with English, and dicto is a word in Latin that means to declare habitually, to declare frequently, but it's first person, so it means I declare, I declare, I declare, and so he's saying, I declare the superior what? It doesn't say what. But on the other side of that line, precisely on the other side, is telling you who is saying this. This is a pure anagram of Saint Germain.
Wow.
And above that D that was taken out momentarily, it connects to an E, D, and in a cross shape, Count. His whole name, Count de Saint Germain. Well, remember I started with that ghost story? Jefferson said this man showed up at the signing of the Declaration and encouraged them all, sign now if your life depended on it. This is the most important thing you will ever do. And then he disappears. Well, that's not in the official record because they don't want, you know, historians going, oh, Jefferson was, he saw people showing up. Now, that's been taken out, but it happened. He wrote this letter. The letter's non-existent now. I'm looking for it. I think we'll find it eventually. But the point is, it was written about 100 years ago by Manly P. Hall. So Count de Saint Germain is saying, I declare the superior, and then running right through that is an anagram that says natural laws. I declare the superior natural laws, which is not a surprise because they're right at the very top of the whole thing. That's what they say. They're saying the laws of nature and of nature's God. We want to return to the laws of nature. What are the laws of nature that we just discovered? The actual natural laws are the fundamental building blocks of creation. The ratio that Nassim proved is basic to the fundamental concepts of the Platonic solids and their relationship to a sphere and then the speed of light. That's how creation starts. And the Declaration is saying that in the first sentence. We want to return to the natural laws and of nature's God. Well, now, I hope you're ready to have your socks blown off because this is where it gets exciting.
Damn, yeah?
So, you look at how they connected those so-called mistakes in the document. So look at this. I'll just run that again so you see. The two connections in the actual document, when you put them into the grid, where do they show up? They show up here. Okay, is that significant? Well, representative, right? There's the EN that was missed out. This is in the grid. Right next to it is a cross that says D, D, and D. And the TH is a symbol, it's a Freemasonic symbol. It represents the three crosses on Calvary. And it simply is saying, I am that I am. It's a little nudge, nudge. Are you in the club? TH means, you know, I am that I am. It's the name of God. He's saying, I am D. There's the symbol for it, the Freemasonic symbol. I am D, I am D, I am D. Above it, I am Master ID. In Renaissance time, I's and J's were the same. So his initials for John D were I-D. Master. Master what? Master Mason. There are only 3 places in the entire document where, when you put it into a grid, it is an anagram of Mason, and here's one of them. There's the triple tau, which is the TTT is another way of saying the TH. There's a TH symbol. If I had time to go into this in deeper, I would have shown it you, but it's all on the work on the to be or not to be dot.
Detail.
And so literally it's there saying, I am John Dee. This is a work he did called the Monas Hieroglyphica, which is also an anagram of Mason than what is there. So that's the very first mistake, is saying D. The second mistake, according to Matlack, is here. And it's right next to a cross saying E. Veer. I am E. Veer, and I am E. Veer, and I am E. Veer. And that's the name of the real Shakespeare, who is Edward de Vere. Now, you remember the name for the Holy of Holies is the de Vere. His name is an actual anagram of it, de Vere. In Latin, de Vere means the truth, and in Hebrew, de Vere means the Holy of Holies. This is the real Shakespeare, and the encoding of Shakespeare was done by John Dee. The 2 mistakes in here are connecting those 2 beings and saying, these are the spiritual founding fathers of America. That's what it's saying. And underneath it, again, is the initials I and D, and the word Mason right next to it, the second place where a vertical line says that. So up there, looking closer at it, you've got the whole thing of representative, and the John D. cross are connected by the EO of, which is the signature of Edward de Vere, or he was known as Edward Oxenford. Mason, the triple tau, and the D cross are all connected, right? There's a connection here that says, and this is only part of it, there are several places where it mentions this person. And it says, Trump's USA, even with the apostrophe created, a hallmark of John Dee's codes is even the punctuation is always perfect. It says Trump's USA. Well, what does that mean? Okay. And you're looking at it and you go, well, okay, that's probably just a mistake. I asked Grok about it. He said, well, so far, okay. But then Trump happens to say at the same time, well, I am also the president, which goes straight up from that technical thing. And it's all based on the very central line of the entire grid where we just saw, I declare the superior natural laws, and it's being written by Count de Saint-Germain, who was the guy who showed up at the actual signing to encourage everybody to sign it. And he is a disembodied being. He is known, if you follow into his lifetime, as a miraculous person who everybody writes about him, from Casanova to the various kings of the time period, and Mozart. They all said, oh, we met him and we saw him 50 years later and he hadn't aged a day. He's an extra dimensional being.
He's an ascended master, right?
He's an ascended
This is like
master.
a Christ-like figure.
Yeah, yeah. But according to Jefferson, he's the guy that showed up at the signing of the Declaration.
Wild.
So, all right. So
This is crazy.
So
Saint Germain's a purple flame, yeah?
Yeah.
Violet flame.
Yeah.
So on May 2nd, Trump posts this: I would like to be Pope. He says that would be my number one choice. And of course, the Catholic world went kind of, well, that's a bit disrespectful. Francis just died, and, have a bit of, taste, will you? But right under his cross, it says the Pope. And right either side of it, so then 6 days later, this guy gets elected Pope. And his name is right there next to Pope under Trump's USA, the Pope Leo. And this connection of letters that goes up from that says the 14th. And in case you missed it, Leo is there outside of the Pope, and Leo is there outside of the 14th. His name is there in case you weren't quite sure what his name was. The Pope is Leo the 14th, Leo. Connected to that is right next to it a straight line saying First U.S. Pope. okay, yeah, but that's not possible, is it? This is the Declaration of Independence. It was written in 1776. Is it a prophetic code? Right next to it, where the whole thing starts, representative, spelt wrong, with the EN, right next to it is the words, is solved. How is it solved? I don't know. Well, within the word representative is this, and above it are these two words. R. Francis Prevost.
Insane. It's wild.
So this asks you to bypass your normal analytical mind and say, we're all told that time is not linear. We live in an eternal now, but I don't really believe that. I mean, come on. You mean there's only now, and to an ascended master like Count de Saint-Germain, he can guide the people who are writing this, who was, if you watch the whole series, it's Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin is the creator of this whole thing. In fact, Ben Franklin is saying that in it, he's the reincarnation of John Dee. He says it clearly. I am John Dee. He was an exceptional, extraordinary polymath of great, and he wrote this. So it was not a stretch to say he could work out the wording of just a mere 6,771 characters to be able to, but this side of it, the prophetic side of it, no, I can't accept that it was him knowing that Leo XIV would be the first U.S. Pope and his name would be Francis Prevost. But where does it go from there? I mean, literally, if you connect these two mistakes and look at where they end up in the grid, there's other math encoded. There's 22 lines there, there's 14 lines there, and there's 25 lines there. Okay, does that mean anything? Well, it means if you put the top two sections over the bottom section, it gives you 47 over 14, which happens to be that, which happens to be Prevost's constant.
What?
It's a very important mathematical constant. Well, Leo was a math major. He's going to love this when he finds out about it. I mean, he did his master's in mathematics.